All right, so we're diving deep into Agile development today. And, you send over this research paper from Industrial Marketing Management. It's pretty dense academic stuff,
Yeah.
but I think we can break it down.
Yeah, definitely. What I think is really interesting about this paper is that the researchers went beyond, just the typical agile buzzwords. They actually look at agile as a what they call a sociotechnical system.
Okay, wait, hold on. Can we define socio-technical system before we go any further? I think that's a really important concept for listeners to grasp early on.
Definitely, yeah. So a sociotechnical system means that it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the people using the technology and the way they interact with each other, throughout the development process.
So it's like a two-sided coin, right? You've got the technical side, the tools and processes, but then you've also got this social side, the human element, the team dynamics, the communication.
Exactly. And this paper really dives into how finding the right balance between those two sides is crucial for agile success.
Now the paper breaks down agile development into four key components, kind of like the gears in a well-oiled machine.
hmm
We've got autonomy, diversity, iterative and incremental development, and communication.
Let's start with autonomy. So you need to understand how much decision-making power an agile team actually has. Are they being micromanaged? Or uh, can they actually steer the project based on their expertise? That level of freedom can make or break a project.
That reminds me of something I was reading recently. It was about how a team that was lacking diverse skill sets was actually able to compensate for that
Mm.
by having really strong external communication. They basically tapped into a network of experts outside of the team to fill in the gaps.
That's a great example. Yeah, and the researchers actually call these configurations for success,
Yeah.
which I think is fascinating because it means you don't necessarily need all four agile components firing at 100% all the time. A weakness in one area can be balanced out by a strength in another.
So, like, let's say a team isn't great at sticking to those short development cycles,
Mm.
which is, the heart of iterative and incremental development.
hmm
Could they still be successful if they have a highly diverse team that can quickly adapt to changes?
Precisely. Yeah, that diversity would allow them to respond to feedback and course correct rapidly. So if you're on a team that's, let's say, not hitting those short cycles as planned,
Yeah.
think about how having that diverse mix of skills would impact your work, allowing you to adapt and pivot effectively.
That's a really good point. It really shows
Yeah.
how interconnected these components are. You can't just isolate one and say, okay,
Mm.
we need to fix this.
Mm.
It's really about looking at the whole system
Mm.
and finding that right balance for your specific situation.
Absolutely. One of the key findings of this research is that Agile works best when there's this sweet spot between the social and technical sides. It's like this dance between the human element and the technology, each influencing the other.
And let's not forget communication,
Hmm.
which, the paper describes as like the oil that keeps the engine running smoothly. How well a team shares information, both internally and with stakeholders,
Right.
like yourself, can really determine the success of a project.
Think about a time when you were working on a project and communication just completely broke down. Maybe you had misaligned expectations, missed deadlines, or just a general feeling of confusion. And now imagine that same project with crystal clear communication, where everyone's on the same page, feedback is shared openly, and adjustments are made collaboratively.
Yeah.
What a difference, right?
It really is. It makes you realize that communication isn't just some, like soft skill. It's absolutely critical for keeping that whole agile system functioning.
Yeah.
So we've got these four components: autonomy, diversity, iterative development, and communication all interacting like this complex system. What happens when things start to go wrong?
Well, the researchers also identified some what they call red flags, which are essentially situations where the lack of certain agile components led to unsuccessful project outcomes. One major red flag that they uncovered was a lack of either autonomy or iterative development. So imagine you're working on a project and your hands are tied. You can't respond to changes effectively. That's what a lack of autonomy feels like. Or if you're missing those feedback loops from iterative development, you're essentially flying blind.
It's interesting because the paper also talks about how autonomy can actually unlock a team's ability to be truly innovative.
Yeah, they actually go a step further and talk about the importance of what they call delegated control. So it's not just giving teams the power to decide how they work, but also having a say in what they work on.
So it's like giving the team the freedom to choose which race they want to enter,
That's
not
right.
just how they drive the car.
Right. Exactly. And think about it from your perspective. If you're passionate about a project and you have a genuine sense of ownership, wouldn't you be more invested in its success? So delegated control empowers teams to be more engaged and ultimately produce better outcomes.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But it raises a question for me. The paper focuses a lot on how autonomy contributes to success. But what happens when that autonomy is limited? Can an agile team still thrive in an environment where they don't have complete freedom?
That's a great question, and it's something that that the paper doesn't explicitly address. It makes you wonder if there are ways for agile teams to maintain some of their effectiveness even within constraints, or maybe certain agile principles are just more adaptable than
This
others.
is where it gets really fascinating for me. It's like asking, can a race car still perform well on a regular highway
Hmm.
with speed limits and traffic jams?
Yeah, that's a fantastic analogy. It opens up this whole other line of thinking about how agile can, you know, evolve and adapt to different environments. Maybe further research is needed to explore those nuances. But before we go down that rabbit hole, let's recap some key takeaways for our listeners from this research.
Okay, so we've learned that when viewed as a socio-technical system, agile development requires this delicate balance between,
Yeah.
you know, those social and technical aspects.
Right, and remember, this balance can be achieved through those
Yeah.
those what we called configurations for success, where a team's strengths in one area might compensate for weaknesses in another.
We've also uncovered some of those potential red flags,
Mm-hmm.
like a lack of autonomy or communication that can signal trouble ahead.
And you raised that really insightful question about whether agile teams can adapt to environments with limited autonomy. So this whole discussion, I think, has provided a much deeper understanding of how agile development works as a system.
Absolutely. It's like having a detailed blueprint of the engine, not just a basic owner's manual. But there's one crucial point that the paper makes that we haven't really touched on yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it delves into how Agile is particularly well suited for navigating, this world of new product development and digital servicization. We're seeing more and more companies trying to create those innovative products and services that blend, the physical and the digital. Think smart devices,
Yeah.
personalized online experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. And those types of offerings require a different development approach, one that's flexible, iterative, and puts the customer front and center. Traditional methods
Yeah.
with their rigid plans and long lead times just don't cut it in today's, fast-paced market.
So how does Agile help companies, successfully navigate those waters?
Well, the paper highlights a few key advantages. Agile's emphasis on customer collaboration ensures that those products and services are truly aligned with what customers actually need and expect. It's like having the customer in the driver's seat, providing constant feedback on the route and destination.
That makes a lot of sense. You'd be surprised how many companies develop products in a vacuum and then wonder why they don't, resonate with their target audience.
Exactly. And another advantage highlighted in the paper is Agile's ability to handle uncertainty and change. In the world of new product development, especially in the digital realm, things are constantly in flux. New technologies emerge, customer preferences shift, competitors make unexpected moves. So being able to respond to these changes quickly can make or break a product launch.
So instead of, rigidly sticking to a predetermined plan,
Yeah.
Agile teams can adapt and pivot, incorporate new information without, derailing the entire project.
Exactly. Think about it from your perspective. How often have you seen a project, go off the rails because the team couldn't adjust to unexpected changes or new information? Agile's iterative nature allows for those course corrections.
Yeah.
Keeping the project on track even when the landscape shifts.
And we can't forget the speed advantage. Agile's iterative nature also means that companies can get products and services to market faster, which is crucial in today's competitive environment.
Absolutely. Speed is often the key to success, especially when you're talking about new product development. Being able to launch, test, and iterate quickly gives companies a significant edge. Agile helps them stay ahead of the curve and get their innovations into the hands of customers faster.
So it sounds like Agile is like the perfect tool for companies tackling these new product development and digital servitization challenges.
While it's a powerful approach, it's important to remember that Agile isn't a magic bullet. It's a system that requires, careful implementation and adaptation to a company's specific context.
Yeah.
Just like any engine,
Hmm.
it needs proper maintenance and the right fuel to run smoothly.
Well, this deep dive has given us, a ton of valuable insights into Agile development. We've explored its core components, seen how they interact as a system, and learned about its real-world applications.
Yeah, and we've highlighted the importance of, finding that right balance between those social and technical aspects,
Yeah.
understanding the different configurations for success, and being aware of those potential red flags.
But I think most importantly, this deep dive has shown us that Agile is more than just a methodology. It's a mindset. It's a way of approaching work that embraces collaboration, flexibility, and a constant drive for improvement.
Hmm. And that mindset, I think, is essential for any company looking to, thrive in today's rapidly changing business environment, whether you're developing groundbreaking products or just trying to improve your team's workflow. This agile principles can provide a powerful framework for success.
So there you have it. Another deep dive completed, and hopefully some valuable insights for you to ponder. Remember, the journey of learning never truly ends. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in your own work.